Hi everyone, so today is 16th of January 2022 and I am officially a 2 years old chartered accountant. So it's been exactly 2 years that my result of CA final had come, that is 16th of January 2020, and I still cannot digest the fact that I had got an All India rank 5 and that feeling was just amazing. So I cannot express it with my words right now, but it can only be felt. So last year I had created a similar video titled as 1 year after CA, in which I had shared how my life had changed after becoming a CA and how that 1 year was. So in this video, I'm going to share how my next year had been, what my work profile looks like at Aditya Birla Ventures, what is my day-to-day routine, and most importantly, what are some of the tips and advice which I'd like to give to all of you, which might help you in your corporate career going ahead. So let's watch this entire video in order to understand how my life has changed and most importantly, how my last year has been after becoming a CA. So if you haven't watched the video, so just click on the I button and you can just watch that video of 1 year after CA, where you can just understand how my life had changed after becoming CA for the next 1 year. So continuing on that front itself, after Jan 2021, I got into my third stint in Aditya Birla Group. So just to remind all of you, I was in ABG and there's a rotational program for all the FLPs, which is Finance Leadership Program. So there are 3 stints of 4 months each and we are rotated across 3 stints of 4 months each for the first year, and then we are given a final role. So after my second stint in Group Mergers and Acquisition Department, I got into Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail in Louis Philippe Department. There my major work was to just analyze what are some of the loss-making stores. If they are loss-making stores, then analyze the reason, like just talk to the vendors, talk to the customers, understand what's going wrong. So in the southern region, there were a lot of loss-making stores and therefore we just had to understand what were the reason and just present it to the head. So that was one of the major projects in the 4 months period, in the 4 month stint of ABFR and Louis Philippe. And that was a light stint in terms of there was not a lot of work. So I focused more on my extracurricular activities like creating videos on YouTube, Instagram, or learning guitar because I'm also interested in music. So I learned guitar, I learned keyboard. I used to go to the gym because health was the priority. Now I've stopped going to the gym because of coming into Aditya Birla Ventures. Like it's quite hectic over here. But at the same time, I'd like to state that focus on your health, that should be the priority. So like I was reading an article on LinkedIn and one person had met Mr. Narayan Murthy in an airplane and he was just asking him, what is one piece of advice you'd like to give to everyone? And Mr. Narayan Murthy said that over the last years of my life, I just realized that health is very, very important. So don't just prioritize your work or academics over your health at any cost. You should always focus on your health. Just go for exercise or go for jogging, go to gym or just anywhere else, no matter how busy schedule you have. So I might be a hypocrite while saying this because I also don't do all these things, but trust me, even I really want to do this and I want to start a regular exercise routine where at least I can go for a morning walk or a morning jog, or at least I can have that routine of exercising for 15 to 20 minutes in a day. So focus that health should be your priority. Then after my third stint, I was an executive assistant to the chief economist of Aditya Birla Group. So I got into the corporate economics cell, again a very lucrative profile. So this is a very unconventional one. So I worked with the chief economist named Dr. Ajit Ranade. I was his executive assistant. So let me just in a minute brief you what exactly my work profile was. So there I was an EA to him and it's like I used to help him in his day-to-day tasks. So there were tasks like where we had to represent to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs or Ministry of Government. If there's any circular which is not in good interest of Aditya Birla Group, then we had to just represent it to FICCI or CII and just tell them that this circular is not in the best interest of the company. So basically that was one of the major work. Then secondly, Dr. Ranade also writes a lot of articles on Live Mint, Economic Times. You can just check his articles on Live Mint on a lot of issues. I used to help him write that articles. So there's one article of Kane seizure of Indian government assets. So that was an article where I helped him in terms of articulating the entire content and explaining him what the entire case study was. So again, that was very interesting. Of course, my name wouldn't be there in the Live Mint articles and all, but it was like I had contributed in terms of writing that article in newspapers. Then next, it was like we had to do a lot of forecasting in terms of helping all the businesses of Aditya Birla Group for their forecast of planning and budgeting. So I did the forecast of commodities like pulp and fiber, cotton, viscose staple fiber. So this was specifically for the pulp and fibers business. And our team used to do forecast of all the macroeconomic variables as well, like what would be the expected Indian GDP, what is the expected consumer price inflation, wholesale price inflation, what would be the expected coal price, copper price, aluminium price, all these major commodities which are used in Aditya Birla Group's businesses. So this was again one of an interesting project, and this is called as the PNB season, which is the planning and budgeting season, where we have to do all these forecasts and we have to give all these forecasts to the group business heads. So again, that was one of an amazing experience. And apart from this, I used to write CEC notes. CEC is nothing but the department's name, Corporate Economics Cell. I used to write research notes and send it to all the employees of Aditya Birla Group. So I've written notes on topics like what are non-fungible tokens, is crypto going to be banned in India, or I've written notes on topics like the rise of Zerodha, disruption of broking industry, and Keynes' seizure of Indian government's assets. So I used to ensure that topics which are not in the main interest of CEC, I used to cover those topics. So basically finance topics which are of interest to the audience, I used to ensure that these topics are covered, and I used to disseminate them through an email to all the ABG employees. So basically CEC is nothing but a research dissemination house as well, and we try to help and educate all the employees of ABG in terms of whatever is going around in the economy. And one more deliverable was that we used to record podcasts. So I used to record podcasts with Dr. Aranya on a fortnightly basis, where we used to talk about any particular hot topic which is going on. For example, the Turkish lira currency, which was depreciated by more than 20-30% in a span of 2 days. We used to talk on that. We used to talk on what are NFTs, again, like all the notes which we had created, we used to convert into the form of podcast as well, and I used to disseminate them to all the ABG employees. So again, all in all, it has been an amazing experience. So this stint was for 6 months, and I was his executive assistant, used to assist him on day-to-day tasks as well. So let me tell you one thing, all those informal conversations with him around like 7:30, 8 p.m. when I used to go from office, I think these are just going to be invaluable. All those learnings and all those teachings which he has just taught me, I think I can never forget all of them. So it's like, this is the major advantage of working from office. No one is going to schedule a call with your manager and just title it as chit chat or catch up call. That is not going to happen, right? So this is the major advantage of working from office. And I shifted to Mumbai on 1st of July 2021, and that time me and my boss were the only two persons coming to the office from my team, and the exposure which I've gotten over that time frame, I think that has been just more than amazing. I can't even express in my words right now, because the learnings which he has given me over the course of 6 months, I think that is always going to be there with me. So trust me that it's definitely going to help all of you if you just work from office. Of course, like, it's risky to work from office right now, but all in all, I'm trying to say that those informal chit chats or those coffee breaks or those candid conversations, they add a lot of value, and these can't be measured. And again, those 6 months, they just came and gone in the blink of an eye. So I've said this repeatedly, right? Like, it's said that the most elastic element in the world is time. It increases when we are waiting and decreases when we are enjoying. Since I enjoyed my 6 months at CC so much, I think the time just flew away and it came and gone in the blink of an eye. So that was the 6 months period. Then after that, I moved to Aditya Birla Ventures. So this story is again interesting. So I applied to this VC role, and again there was an interview. So I cracked the interview, and then there were questions like, how do you evaluate a startup? How do you value a startup which is unlisted? Of course, all the startups are unlisted. How do you value them? Then there are a lot of challenges in data finding. What kind of softwares or databases you might use in terms of getting the data of startups? How do you ensure that this startup is going to succeed? And what are some of the factors you take while evaluating a startup? These are some of the interview questions I was asked before getting into Aditya Birla Ventures. So just to give you a brief background, so here the work profile is just evaluating startups, talking to the founding team regularly, and then investing in those startups in their Series A, Series B round, so that even we can multiply our own capital and get the return which is required as per the mandate. So that is the work profile, and let me tell you, it's been more than amazing. So it's like the learning curve here is so steep that we talk to a lot of founders every day, and after talking to a lot of founders, we get to learn so many things. कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है यार ये प्रॉब्लम भी हो सकती है, ये सोचा भी नहीं था, ये प्रॉब्लम भी हो सकती है, इसका सॉल्यूशन भी इन लोगों ने ढूंढा है, and therefore they are getting such high valuations. So it broadens your horizon, it broadens your perspective, and trust me, I'd like to recommend all of you to try to get a job in VC or PE at least once in your lifetime, because then you get to understand what are some of the problems which these startup founders are solving. There are so many startups, there are around 10,000 startups in India, I think even more than that. And it's like so many startup founders are trying to solve at least one problem. You talk to 3-4 founders on a regular daily basis, and you get to understand their perspective. It broadens your own horizon. So I think this is going to be very amazing in terms of connecting with people, understanding their perspective, networking, communicating well, and then closing the deal. So again, it's very hectic as of now. Of course, like, it's going to be a hectic space, but it's like the learning curve is so steep that it doesn't even feel that the entire day has gone. So it's like, even if I'm working for 12-13 hours a day, it doesn't feel stressful because the work profile is very lucrative. So I think that's going to be amazing. And trust me, over the last like 3-4 weeks itself, I've joined Aditya Birla Ventures on 23rd December 2021. And over the last 3-4 weeks itself, I have realized that networking is very, very important in this space. Not only in this space, anywhere you go in life. And trust me, I'm not even kidding. So मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, like over the last 2-3 weeks, I'm sending connection requests to almost all the analysts and associates from all the VC funds like Sequoia, Axel, Lightspeed, Matrix, you name any VC fund. I'm trying to connect with them, trying to understand their perspective, what are are they investing in, if there's any good deal, trying to source deals from them. And not only that, it's like if there's any good deal which comes to my end as well, I'll try to share with them. So it's a two-way relationship, right? It's a win-win situation for both of us. So that's the point which I'm trying to do, and trust me, I'm not even kidding. I've sent requests to almost 150 to 200 people over the last 2 weeks, and out of which I think 100 would have accepted, and I've gotten on a call with almost 50 to 60 of them over the last 2-3 weeks itself. So getting on a call with them, understanding their investment thesis, understanding their experiences, it's been so helpful to me that I can't even imagine, like, so many people are willing to help. It's like the way you approach that matters a lot. So start reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Even if they aren't replying, that's okay. You have to follow up at least once or twice. After 2 follow-up, then you should stop. It shows that the person is not interested, or either he or she does not have the bandwidth to talk to you at that point of time. So the entire point is try to get connections and just try to network as much as possible. Not only this, I'm trying to connect with people from IIT Bombay, IIT Roorkee, etc. so that I can understand what kind of mentality they have and how they are thinking so differently. So I just send connection request. I ask them to get on a call if they are okay with sharing their contacts and all. And once I get on a call with them, I just explain them what is the synergies which we can have from each other. And it's like once they also understand that, okay, this person is credible, then they are also willing to share their thoughts, ideas. And if there's any common interest topic like NFTs, cryptos, Meta, Web 3.0, then there's a discussion which goes on for 10-15 minutes, and you don't even realize that the half an hour call has already ended. So these are some of the things which I've realized over the last 1 year, and trust me, it's very, very important that you keep networking and keep connecting with people. The maximum you're going to lose here is that you won't be able to get the reply of that person, but that's absolutely okay. I've sent hundreds of emails to a lot of industry stalwarts, out of which only 2 or 3 reply for my YouTube podcast, but that's okay, right? It's like a VC fund only. Like, you invest in 100 startups, and even if 10 turn unicorn, you're going to be set for the rest of your lifetime. So it's like I'm sending hundreds of interview emails, but out of which only 2 or 3 also reply. That's good. That's going to make my life very easier, because it's like I'm getting a chance to interact with these industry stalwarts at the age of 22 itself. So that's like a completely amazing moment for me as well. So I think all in all, my 1 year has been more than amazing, and trust me, it's going to be more amazing, let's say like 1 year down the line. In the last 1 year, I think one lesson which this professionalism, or maybe this professional course or corporate culture has taught me, is that it's very, very important that you remember that you have your own path. There are a lot of jealousies which are involved in a lot of corporates. There are a lot of politics which happens in a lot of corporates, and it's like you have to remember that you have your own path, and you don't need to be jealous. You don't need to compare yourself with your other peers. So trust me, even if your other peers are doing well, that's absolutely alright. Even if there's a person who is younger to you but who is doing well in his life, or maybe he's at a higher stage in the corporate, that's absolutely okay. It's like you shouldn't have ego. You should be more than happy, or you should be very free to approach to that person even if you have any doubt. So you shouldn't hesitate that, oh, he's my junior, I shouldn't reach out to him. That's what I've realized over the last 1 year. So many people in my team only used to reach out to me despite the fact that I used to be the youngest, and that used to show that, okay, they don't have ego at all. It's like I've been to offsites with them, I've enjoyed so much with them, I had built that friendly connect with them. It's very important to build that friendly connect with everyone, no matter where you go. Even if you're working in a good corporate, it's important that you have friends in corporates. Your relationship shouldn't be transactional. कोई लोग कैसे होते हैं कि अरे यार नहीं, सिर्फ काम की काम बात करेंगे, and it's like very transactional कि तू मेरे ये काम आएगा, I'll work for you, and बस उसके बाद like you won't even talk. You should avoid these kind of relationships. My personal advice is that if you have that personal relationship even in corporate culture, no, that's absolutely alright. Make friends in office so that when you're stressed out or when you want to bitch about your manager, these are the people whom you'll go to, right? So that's very, very important. So I think that is how life has changed for me over the last 1 year, and trust me, it's been very, very difficult to spend time with friends or family, because after a point of time, if life gets more hectic and if you're growing as a person, you get more responsibilities in your head. So at this point of time, like, I'm managing my VC job, I'm managing my content creation on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything is very, very active. So I've outsourced my YouTube videos and Instagram to an agency called MarketUp, like Ishan Sharma, who's a YouTuber. He's helping me like in all the description box, SEO tagging, editing, thumbnail designing, etc. So the more you delegate and the more you outsource, it's going to be better, because you need to focus on your core strength, and that is very, very important. So I think these are some of the lessons which I've learned over the last 1 year, and this is how life has changed for me. And I think this is one of the quotes which one of my friends Ayush had tweeted, that the more you grow, the more you ignore. It's like if you're growing as a person, then you have to ignore all the negativities, all the negative people in your your life and just focus only on one thing, that is your own target, and you have to become selfish after a point of time. So being selfish is absolutely alright, and if thinking about your own future and if focusing on your own growth is called as selfish, then I am okay being called that, because ultimately you have to feed your family, you have to feed yourselves at the end of the day. So these are some of the lessons I've realized over the last 1 year. I hope these were useful for all of you, and if you do like this video, share it with all your friends and subscribe to my channel so that I can create more videos for all of you. So thank you so much for watching this video. Those who are watching this video, all the best for all your examinations, all the best for your professional career ahead, and I'm very sure you're going to ace in all aspects of your life. So thank you so much once again for watching this video. See you in the next video.